What is up, baseball fans? Welcome back to I think this is episode 12 of This Week in Baseball. I'm not 100% sure, but we're gonna go with episode 12 with of This Week in Baseball, presented by Diamond Digest. I'm your host this week, Diego Francocrino, and with me I've got Joseph and Sam. How are we doing today, guys?
Mediocre.
Solid 9.
Yeah, I get it. I feel both those somehow at the same time. So we'll be talking about some things all around baseball this week. We're going to talk a little about the Yankees. We're going to talk about Tony La Russa and his stupid management. Pujols a little bit, and just a little bit of stuff here and there. If you guys are unfamiliar, we have brought back our seventh inning stretch, which this week I decided I am not going to tell either of these two what the questions are ahead of time. So we'll see how it goes. But, as always, we will begin with a standings update. So, if the season ended today in the American League, you would have, in the American League East, the New York Yankees winning that division. In the Central, it would be the Cleveland Guardians. In the West, it would be the Houston Astros. And your wild card teams in the American League would be Seattle, Tampa Bay, and Toronto. In the National League out east, you would have the New York Mets. In the Central, the St. Louis Cardinals, and the West, the Los Angeles Dodgers, with your playoff teams being the Atlanta Braves, Philadelphia Phillies, and San Diego Padres. So nothing too crazy, I feel like, except for Cleveland currently leading the division, which is kind of whack.
Yeah, who saw that coming at the start of the year?
Yeah,
We spent too much time on that last week.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, it's baseball. We've got we're in late August at this point. Baseball's really starting to take shape. A lot of these divisions feel more or less decided, except for the American League Central, National League Central maybe, and National League East definitely has some up in the air, times to be had. But the wildcard races are going to be fun at the end of the year here.
Yeah.
So that is absolutely something to be looking forward to. But after our standing updates, we have our seventh inning stretch. So in the past, we have done a scoreboard on screen, but this week I have decided I didn't want to find it in my files, so we're going to do it. I'm going to do it by hand, and these two aren't going to know how my arbitrary points work at all this week. I'm really leaving them in the dark just because I didn't take the time to actually prepare. So, anyway.
This is the no one knows what's going on episode.
Correct. Well, I kind of do. You guys don't. Anyway, seventh inning stretch time. So, seventh inning stretch, 7 questions, 7 innings. And then at the end, someone will be declared a winner. And I will let you know, the last question is not going to be for points. So technically it's 6 questions worth points. And the last question just kind of like a fun little question. Anyway, first inning. The New York Yankees are currently on a drastic slide, losing a lot of their games and seeing their division lead at one point go from 15 game all the way down to 6 at one point. I believe it is at 8 as the time of this recording. But is there a legitimate concern about the Yankees' hopes of winning the division or even making a wild card and being in the postseason at all?
I don't think there's concerns about them making it. I think there's more concerns that it's not going to be a runaway to the pennant like we all thought a few months ago.
Yeah, that's fair. If they did somehow, some way miss this postseason, would that be the biggest collapse of the century thus far?
Yes.
It would be the
1000%.
funniest thing to happen in baseball in a very long time.
I think I'd agree. I don't know. The Yankees deserve nothing, and I'm always of that opinion. That is well known. But yeah, I mean, the Yankees certainly. I do like the Blue Jays a lot.
Yeah.
Go Baltimore, honestly.
Please. Baltimore, Seattle.
Baltimore. When Baltimore is good next year, I'm going to be so excited. like when they actually try and see. I think Baltimore's offseason is going to be very, very interesting to watch. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, going back to the Yankees here a bit, that they definitely lost that stranglehold they had on the East. It's definitely a little bit more like there can be a discussion to be had where it's not quite, decided yet. I feel like.
All right, I'm going to reboot my computer. I have not heard anything. I'll be back.
Oh, well, Sam will be back. So, anyway, but yeah, the Yankees are just, doing their own thing. I know you wanted to talk about Dustin May. I feel like this is a good time for it now that Sam's rebooting his computer.
Yeah, what we're
and
talking
we can just
about
take a break here.
Just a
Go
quick
for it.
thing for me to talk about Dustin May. He came back yesterday. Phenomenal. It was the Marlins, I'll say that, but phenomenal. The
He always
stuff
is gonna be.
was moving like it was before. The first strikeout he got, that slider, was 3,400 RPM.
It's a lot.
Unbelievable.
That's a lot of RPM.
So it looks really. It's one start. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but Dustin May's back.
It's promising, to
Yeah.
say the least. And Dustin May, man, he's a Dodger, so unfortunately I have to hate him. But like, I really like Dustin May. I have to pray on his downfall every time he goes out there. But like, I really like Dustin May. I really love watching him pitch. He's got incredible stuff, and so this promising first start back is definitely good for the game of baseball.
Yeah, because I've watched a lot of baseball in my life. I've never seen a baseball move like that at that velocity.
He's special.
Yeah,
he's absolutely special. And then he was gone. He was out. How long was he out? It was a while, wasn't it?
Year and a half, because I think he went down with Tommy John late April, early May last year. And at that time, he had a sub-2 ERA. The strikeouts were finally there. The walks were starting to go lower. It finally looked like Dustin May had put it together. And that injury was so deflating, for not just as like a Dodgers fan, but like as a baseball fan, because it's just an event when he was pitching. Dodger Twitter was counting down the days for the past 2 weeks to this day.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I think it's, especially with Buehler going down, like he's been, hurt most of the year, but him like officially being like shut down and all of that, that's definitely a good thing to, have been done.
Yeah, the rotation has been great all year, but it's like after Urias, because Kershaw may not be ready for October, who gets the ball game 2? And if he keeps it up, Dustin May gets the ball game 2.
Probably. Sam's back, but I don't know if he's back.
Sam?
Sam does have a new hat, in case anyone was wondering.
I do have a new hat.
So his audio is working, and he can hear us. This camera's a little behind.
And the
But
all right. I'm going to have to figure something out outside this room. I will once again be
all right,
back.
well,
Godspeed.
Yeah, have fun. All right, Sam's gone again.
Yeah.
But Dustin May, I think, especially if you keep it up and start to build up, that pitch count a little bit more, it's gonna be helpful for the Dodgers come October.
Yeah, because I like our pitching staff a lot. It's just, do you really want to give the ball to Tony Gonsolin game 2 against DeGrom? Or you want to give the ball to Tyler Anderson against Max Fried or Yu Darvish? Like, name-wise, it doesn't match up.
Joe Musgrove.
Yeah. Like, name-wise, it doesn't match up to a lot of the pitching in the National League. Like, ERA-wise, pitching-wise, they're great. It's just a lot of them haven't had that October spotlight yet. So you kind of have to wonder.
No,
and
absolutely.
May did pitch a lot of those critical innings in 2020.
Yeah, it's funny because like the National League is so loaded with pitching, like star power, starting pitching star power as far as the playoff teams. Because I mean, San Diego, like Musgrove, Darvish, Clevenger, those are all big names, like exciting names. And then the Mets have DeGrom, Scherzer, Carrasco's really good. Like, let's see if Sam's good yet. Good again. Oh.
Will my Wi-Fi work? Who knows?
It's working better, I think.
I think we're good.
I think we're solid. Yeah. We're currently just talking about
All right.
pitching matchups come October. That's because we kind of paused something and stretched while you were figuring it out.
There's not going to be a single bad one in the National League.
Yeah, pitching matchups are going to be crazy. The National League playoffs. Like, now we spoke too soon.
Yeah, we need a loser's bracket.
Losers bracket in the playoffs. It could be fun.
Can one team add Logan Webb for the fun of it?
No, he's ours.
Because as much as like he stressed me out last year, God, was that some great pitching in the playoffs.
Logan Webb is him, unfortunately. So for everyone else, yeah. Watching Logan Webb.
I think the hat's ruining my Wi-Fi.
It's definitely the hat. That's clearly it. But it's funny because you took it off and then it like worked a little bit better. Okay, maybe not. Maybe he's so. Yeah, it's like, we'll see how this goes. Can you still hear us at least?
I can't hear any. It's a glitchy mess for me right now.
Oh, lovely. That's fun. Well, but yeah, the playoffs. I mean, not that the American League it doesn't have good like big name pitching, but I just think it's way more lower than the National League.
The American League's got the better offenses.
Yeah, American League's definitely got the the hitting, the offense, the power. But as someone who's always been a bigger fan of pitching, I'm more inclined to enjoy the National League games.
Yeah, I was going to say, because if you kind of look back at some of like the more stressful playoff games I've kind of been through these past few years, like Game 5 of the 2017 World Series, slugfest, you know what I mean? But that 2-1 duel in San Francisco, like much more like you're on the edge of your seat. You're kind of wondering who's going to be the guy that breaks through.
Yeah, because you're only going to need one at that point if your pitching's like been that good, you know?
And every mistake counts. Urias misses one pitch, and we're tied again.
Yeah. It's like all the seeing like the pitching. Like, can any team beat Scherzer, DeGrom 1-2?
That is the thing too. That's the scariest I think playoff 1-2 punch you're going to come across potentially in the next like 20 years. Like that's an insane 1-2 punch to have.
Like I think other than that, you maybe have like Kershaw Gonsolin or Kershaw May.
Urias Kershaw. Urias has been good.
Oh, he's been on a hot streak.
He's been on a hot streak, and he's just something else in October. So,
it's just kind of like the pitching matchups just don't. It's a net zero thing for most series that don't involve the Mets.
Yeah, because you have to beat them twice. And it's a Herculean task to beat them once.
Yep.
Yeah, like.
But also the Mets gonna Mets, so like.
I think like when it get to October, no matter how many games the Dodgers can win now, I don't know if they can get past the Mets.
I think in a 7-game series, we have a shot. You know what I mean? Because we have to beat them, I believe, once.
Yeah, you can lose to them once.
You can
and
lose
still be okay.
And I think
because they're pitching because Scherzer and DeGrom are pitching 4 games.
Yeah, you
need to win 4, so you have to beat them once.
But then you have
this lineup could beat them once.
I think you can not. You have to also not screw up against like Carrasco.
Yeah,
and Mitchell
and McGill.
Good arms.
Those are still good arms. You know what I mean? But against that offense. Like Alcantara threw 27 to get out of the first inning against the Dodgers today.
And the Dodgers' offense is just so good, but there's like the
so
unstoppable
it's much easier said for them as opposed to Atlanta or San Diego to go against McGill and Carrasco.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a task for sure. but still,
I mean, that's an NLC. That might be one of the best NLCSs of all time if it gets there.
Especially because it's gonna be
pitching-wise.
Kershaw DeGrom Game 7
Would it be
in
Game
Los
7?
Angeles.
Or would they go
You get there.
Scherzer 1, DeGrom 2, Scherzer 5, DeGrom 6? Or
I
with the new
think-
format, are they doing 6-7?
I was gonna say I think it would kind of have to depend on how the series breaks. Because if the Mets are up 3-2, save DeGrom for 7. Because
Yeah.
if we beat DeGrom in Game 6, that series is over.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, I think it just all depends on how they look at it, because like it depends on. I think fans also like they see it different ways. Like, why play for a potential Game 7 if you can win Game 6?
Yeah.
Like, so I think it just depends on how they end up going about it at that point.
And also, Los Angeles, I will argue, is one of the tougher places to play in October. Just because of the 56,000. It doesn't come across
Maybe.
on TV, but that building gets loud.
Okay, but like,
Overrated stadium.
imagine like City Field.
City Field
It's like,
would be very hard to go
Here.
into, too.
but then you hear like ninth inning, Dodgers down 1. You hear the trumpets.
Yeah, that game's over.
Game over.
Game's
Especially with the
basically game's
Aztecs here.
over.
Game's over.
Conversely, you hear Sweet Child of Mine at Dodger Stadium.
And that
Dodgers
gets
up
to the
1.
playoffs.
Congratulations, we're playing extra innings now.
Like that.
The Sweet Child of Mine's Kid Crimble's song.
Yeah.
Nice. I learned recently that Camilo Doval's is tequila.
You see, that's in the Thor.
Yes.
That's in the Thor Love and Thunder
Which is
credits. So
really
I
funny.
can't give it too much credit.
Please stop. Please make it easy for me to hate you, current Giants.
Camilo Doval's walk-up song is tequila. It's my favorite thing. But anyway, back to 7th inning stretch here. So we'll go to inning 2 here now that we think we're all running and fine now. So Tony La Russa, the old man did it again. He walked rookie Oscar Gonzalez on a 1-2 count. He intentionally walked him. And it's the 3rd time the White Sox have done it this season. Is there any reason that this makes any sort of sense, or is La Russa trying too hard to be adaptive to this modern game and failing miserably?
Well, in the modern game, like, base runners are everything. So why give them a free base runner? That's not adapting to the modern game. That's just being stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's Tony La Russa, so.
Yeah, I mean, like, the intentional walk is dumb.
As a whole.
Every single scenario, unless like you have a 1-out guy on second kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's situational, and it like really shouldn't depend on who it played.
I mean,
Yeah, especially with the pitcher gone in the National League, it's very rare to use an intentional walk nowadays, and it be like the right decision.
I feel like, I mean, depending on how much you're looking at splits and like how certain players' advantages play out, I think there's definitely times where it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like if it's you have a lefty on the mound, runner at second, like Sam said, 1 out, and Jock Peterson is in the on-deck circle. Yeah, walk the dude because you're going to take Jock Peterson out of the game now.
Yeah, like stuff like that, or just like you have, a power hitter, and then behind him you have a slap hitting second baseman who's barely, hanging on to his roster spot in the major leagues, like, and he's on deck and he's like the last guy on the bench, and he's going to hit. Yeah, I'd rather have to face him, especially if the arm matchup's there. But there are certain cases where I think it makes a lot of sense. In a 1-2 count, in a count with 2 strikes, I don't think it makes any sense. Like in any case scenario.
Maybe a
No.
3-2, but you have such an
You either
advantage on a
make the
1-2
decision.
count.
Like, what's like the OPS on 1-2? It can't be high.
Yeah. The thing is, if you really want to walk him, just throw him out of the strike zone where he probably wouldn't hit him anyway and hope he swings.
Throw a waste pitch.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There are
just-
3 waste pitches, and like he'll
His
probably swing at
motion-
one of them.
There's motion for a curveball in the dirt.
Yeah.
It's either a strikeout or a ball. Like,
Just
So-
hope you don't have Yasmani Grandal back there.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Tony La Russa is just.
So
I don't get
Yasmani Randall, like what a decline.
That hurts
Don't
to
tell
watch.
Laz that. Don't tell Laz that.
That hurts because he was like my favorite player
Randall
for the
isn't
longest time.
Good.
It's good. Yeah, Yasmani Grandal, his fall from grace, some might say, has been stunning.
God, he should have been just saying should have been a Cincinnati Red. Freaking
Could've
Matt
been.
Toast
Yeah.
is apparently more valuable than him.
Yeah.
Literally the worst trade of all time.
There's some bad ones out there, but either way, yeah, I'll also ask this. This wasn't part of the original question, but I also want to see. Do you think the White Sox, they finish under 500, miss the playoffs? Is La Russa gone?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. I mean,
Mhm.
even they've kind of
Consensus,
treated this
absolutely.
as a waste year with all the injuries, but still, like under 500 with the amount of talent on
With
that
the amount
roster,
of money there's
unacceptable. Truly
actually under
unacceptable.
90 wins. Like even if they were like the third wild card, still say fire La Russa. Unless with that
Yeah.
amount of talent, he should be leading a 95 win team minimum. And
Yeah.
they're
Like,
losing,
have to-
even though they brought Johnny Cueto Cy Young Canada out of nowhere. And by Cy Young
Johnny
Canada,
Cueto
I mean
is
10th
also
place
him.
vote getter. Yeah.
Johnny Cueto
He's
is
the
a quality
greatest-
start merchant.
Sure.
So
4 ERA, but all the starts are going to be quality.
I mean, he has, I think, 10 consecutive quality starts.
Yeah, he's a Chad innings eater.
Yeah. But, like, I mean, his ERA, I think, last I checked, was like 254 on the season.
Yeah, he's been good. He'll get paid this
He's been
offseason.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been so good. He bought himself another year or two in the league. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's gonna get some down ballot Cy Young votes. He's gonna get another contract.
Yeah, and like he deserves it. I love Johnny Cueto.
Gonna look good in the orange and black of Baltimore.
I would love that for Baltimore. Straight up, I would love that for Baltimore.
Man, imagine Johnny Cueto in a Reds uniform.
Dude, that's
that would be
crazy.
something.
Imagine in a Reds uniform in the 2015 playoffs wild card against Pittsburgh.
2013.
Right. Yeah, 2013.
And he only gave up
That
that was a 2-1 game.
Yeah, but he gave us those 2 runs in the first 2 innings.
Just because he wasn't it was a quality start, I think.
It's just remembered because the crowd in Pittsburgh got
Cueto.
under his skin.
Yeah, like he
Cueto.
pitched decently well.
Yeah, but like still, the Cueto chants are still like awesome. They're so cool. I watch those videos back all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's
Especially
incredible.
when he dropped
Yeah.
the ball and the crowd just went absolutely ballistic.
Yeah, and then Russell Martin hit it out on the next pitch. Like
Okay,
It was
but
a great game, but that's what he is unfortunately going to be remembered for.
one of them for sure.
yeah, if Joey Votto and Joey Votto is able to do anything in that game, the narrative changes.
I mean, yeah, but it's fine. We all remember the Cueto game.
Yeah,
Just the Pittsburgh fans.
I mean, for what it's worth, Kershaw cost the series in, I think, 2014 against the Cardinals. Pitched a great game, hung one curveball. Dodgers can't score more than 2 runs to bail him out of that. 3-2
Unfortunately,
loss.
Kershaw
Yeah,
is
like-
a choke artist in the playoffs, and we all know that. So
yeah, much like his good friend Matthew Stafford.
it's a good friend, man. He just won a Super Bowl, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
fraudulent Super
back
Bowl.
to I mean, there are more fraudulent ones out there. The Eagles have a Super Bowl. That's how you know it's fraudulent. But anyway, back to 7th inning stretch, inning
Bulls.
3 here. So the Nationals,
Famous Montreal
and the
Expo
Padres.
Tom Brady.
Also true. So the Nationals and the Padres faced off this week. Not this. It already happened. But after it's the first time that Juan Soto is back in Washington since the trade, because obviously it didn't happen that long ago. And the scuffling Nationals team wins the series against the Padres, and the Padres have a losing record since their deadline that was considered one of the best potentially ever, especially in recent years. If they miss
in a Padre.
Honestly, yeah, that too.
Scam Diego, baby.
Yeah, I always get confused reading those tweets because my name's also Diego, and I'm like, what did I do? But anyway.
I don't mean it like that, man.
I know. But the Padres it's the playoffs. Someone's got to lose their job in San Diego, right? Someone's got to be out if they miss the playoffs this year again.
They're not gonna.
Right?
I think it has to be AJ Preller. I really think it has to be AJ Preller. Bob Melvin did a lot more with less in Oakland.
Yeah.
I feel like the Soto trade was good, though.
It was a good trade, but they don't
trade
have
at that
leadership in that locker room. There is not
Eric
one
Hosmer.
guy anymore.
I mean, listen to this. Alex Anthopoulos, he gave an interview on opening day. He's basically, the second I started paying attention to locker room chemistry, the team record skyrocketed.
Yeah.
What do they have to show for it? A World Series with way less talent than the Padres have.
One of the most impressive World Series in the past 20 years.
Yeah, you have the Diamondbacks 01. The Diamondbacks 01, Giants 2012 as in that realm.
Yeah, as far as, just doing a lot with not exactly the most talent in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I just say that because I picked them to win 0 games in that postseason.
No, that's fair. But you think about it, last year, the only reason the Giants won 107 last year is because their team chemistry was incredible.
Yeah.
And then this year it's not as good and they're bad. So
yeah. Because Buster Posey was truly the leader of that team.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you don't have that guy in San Diego. Machado's not leading you, that's for sure.
Tatis is certainly not
Juan Soto.
The Bat Boy is a better leader than Tatis at this point.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna rely on a guy like Mike Clevenger. Musgrove and Darvish could potentially be a leader of sorts, but even then I feel like that's not, they've never really shown super high leadership qualities, but I could be wrong about that as well.
But and then too, how much leadership can you really get from a guy who goes every 5 days?
Well, good amount.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
a fan of the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw is clearly a leader on that team.
He is a leader on that team, but we didn't win anything until we brought in Betts, and he is probably a better leader, I want to say. Probably. Not a more important leader, just a better leader.
I want to make that distinction. Position players, who do they have? What? You want Jerkson Profar to lead this team?
Jake Cronenworth.
Do you want Will Myers to lead the team?
Please.
The point being, the chemistry is really important, and clearly that shows. But I think that's also why a team like Baltimore this year has been so shocking, because their team chemistry is also super high. And Adley Rutschman, while young, has shown tremendous leadership, I feel like.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
Coming out of the draft, I thought a lot of people were Adley Rutschman, great guy.
Yeah,
franchise cornerstone.
Yeah, and it's only, granted, we're 70 games into Rutschman's career, if even that. And he's already had a massive, improvement in Baltimore. A massive, what's the word I'm looking for? This is a word I can't think of. He's had a massive impact. The word's impact.
Yeah.
A massive impact in Baltimore. So, I don't know. I just think it's not the leadership San Diego has, like Sam was saying here. And I think Preller might have to go here soon if this happens at all anymore. But
I think they'll make the playoffs, though.
I think so too.
Close, but
who's going to knock them out? The Brewers?
Maybe.
I would
Cardinals.
say if anyone knocks him out, it's going to be Milwaukee.
And Milwaukee's
mean,
just bad.
They're only
That's my
one and a
World
half
Series
back.
pick, so show some respect.
My gosh, my predictions this year were really, really bad. I had Detroit and Miami both as playoff teams. So, yeah, I wanted to be different. I thought they had enough from last year. Especially, I really bought in on Detroit this year. They need another couple years, I think.
Well, they need Avila gone.
Well, he is.
Well, they needed it. Now they have it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so maybe next year. We'll see.
Just poach someone from Tampa Bay and LA. You'll be fine.
That's how it goes.
Have Buster Posey GM the team. He'll bring some leadership.
I would love to see Buster Posey GM a team that he swept in the World Series. But anyway, moving on to inning 4 here. We're going to talk about Albert Pujols, unfortunately. Albert Pujols, 2 home runs Saturday. He's now got his home run total up to 692.
So
and
close.
What once seemed so unlikely, what seems so not in reach, seems very, very plausible now. To that elusive 700 number.
Yeah.
Do we think he gets there?
He's getting there.
It really depends if the Cardinals have figured out what people like me have been screaming about for the last year and a half and only hit him against lefties. Because in this stretch, he's taking 75% of his at-bats against lefties. And oh my God, Pujols is hitting again. Who would have thought it?
Yeah, I mean, as much as I hate watching the Cardinals succeed, I am hoping he gets to 700 because that would just be incredible.
Well, it would move
I
A-Rod
really
to the
think he'll
list,
do it.
and I think it's the lesser of two evils. I'd
Yes,
rather have
I think that's true.
A-Rod's legacy be hampered than Pujol, than the Cardinals not be bad.
Yes, I think I agree with that. I like Pujols a lot better than A-Rod too. I also just don't like A-Rod.
Yeah.
Who does?
Who likes A-Rod?
Yankees fans, some of them.
They don't even like A-Rod. What does he do in the last 10 years he played for them? Not 10 years, like 7, I guess.
Yeah, like, to be fair, like, I don't have anything super personal against the Cardinals. It's just every time they do literally anything, I have to hear from Carson. So I talk to him once a week.
I hear it's that Cardinal voodoo magic that has cost me a World Series at least once. I'm sick of that team.
Okay,
That's fair. You have some reason.
What you? What,
If Joe Kelly doesn't break Hanley Ramirez's ribs, the Dodgers win that ring in 2013.
Oh, you're talking like you're going way back.
Yeah, way back.
I don't remember. I stopped paying attention to baseball from that 2013 wild card game until like mid 2017. So
yeah, when were you like 8 years old?
In between the ages of 7 and 11, I did not pay attention to the sport of baseball.
That's I get it. I got like really into baseball at the age of like 9, so like I wasn't even that like young watching baseball yet. So
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So Pujols, I really, really do hope he gets there. But I also don't want to hear from Carson. But it's objectively really, really cool. I would love to see it.
I want to see it, not just for the history, but I want to see Garrett's reaction specifically.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's going to be legendary.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think he truly can, especially if he keeps up how he's been hitting the last week or two here, because he has been mashing. As much as I hate to admit it,
he's only 4 multi-home run games away.
Yeah,
that's true. Or 8, regular home run games. Just one home run games.
He's a multi-home run game merchant.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, so anyway, moving on past Albert Pujols because we don't have to talk about him anymore. We'll move on to inning number 5 here. After a stint in the minors of the Dodgers this year, Dylan Betances has retired for Major League Baseball. because he's in the minors, the Dodgers thing. He had an ERA of like 10.7 or something like that. He wasn't great, I think, in the minors league for the Dodgers. I don't know if Joseph can confirm that or not.
Yeah, I think the ERA was close to. He was pushing 12 almost on that ERA.
See, it somehow was worse than what I said, and what I said was not good. So, anyway, but he had from his breakout season to his last full season, he had his last full season in 2019. He had some incredible numbers. He had 373 in the third innings pitched with 607 strikeouts. That is 14.6 Ks per nine.
Insanity.
Which is absurd. 226 FIP, 222 ERA, 188 ERA plus, 217 Sierra, and 11.2 WAR. But it's pitcher WAR, so it's. But either way, where do you guys think Betances ranks as far as best relievers from the 2010s? For maybe even that back to 2000, even like this.
I say 2010s. It's hard to like really touch the big three. But I can see an argument for him being top 5 if you just look at the peak.
I put him at 6 or 7.
I don't think any of those things are wrong. I think you can have him top 5, just the big 3 being
Kimbrel and Chapman.
Yeah, all of a sudden I forgot every baseball player to ever exist.
To be fair, Jansen is a distant third.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
and I'm like absolutely. The number 1 Kenley Jansen guy.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not wrong, but like top 5 feels good though. I think that's a good spot to put in. But also, if you were to argue like 6, 7, I think that is also not bad. I think it's absolutely easily top 10.
Yeah.
Top 5 just depends on if you like peak versus longevity, and I'm more of a peak person myself.
I prefer longevity. Like that's why I'm having lower. Like.
I think for relievers, peak is maybe a little bit more important, though.
I mean, like, it's like for sure, like his peak was impressive, but like most of those like great relievers had like more extended, valuable like set roles as a setup man or something later in their career.
That's true.
We're seeing playing out with Chapman now, like.
But how much
stinks now?
Yeah, but do you think like? If he wasn't injured, he would still be that guy. You know what I mean? Chapman has fallen off hard. And we could just reminisce on the good with Betances and think what could have been.
He's the Johan Santana of relievers.
I think that...
There are a lot of what-ifs there. But...
I think that's a good comparison. I think I like that comparison a lot, actually. Because, Johan was mad underrated.
Like, and was he incredible? But no, I don't think he's like 5th or 6th in top like in the 2000s. He's top 10. He's a top 10 starter, but he's not. I don't think he's top 5. You got like Randy, who I think had a more impressive peak in the earlier part of the decade. And you got a few other guys who I think are ahead of him. So,
yeah.
And it's just,
but he was this close to 3 straight Cy Youngs, though. So that's got to be something.
He should be in the Hall of Fame. That's because he's a starter.
Yeah.
But Betances is a reliever, and you got to treat him as such. He was... being great at relief pitching is probably the worst thing you can be great at in baseball.
I mean...
Because it's a thankless role.
Yeah, it's a thankless role, absolutely. But it is important. Like, it is super... It's very thankless, though. It's like... When you mess up, it's all your fault. When you do your job, like
it's expected.
It's expected. Exactly.
As someone who had to watch 2018 Ryan Madsen in high leverage postseason roles, trust me, relief pitching matters.
The bullpen is such a fickle thing where one good reliever has much less of an impact than the rest of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Because who cares if you have a lights out closer if the setup guys are gonna blow it before you?
No, that's absolutely the current Giants bullpen. So I mean,
I've been through that too. Like, great, we have a 2-run lead. It's blown. Now Jansen's not pitching tonight.
Well, back when it was the Reds at Chapman, we were like, okay, we had Sean Marshall setting him up.
What a name.
He was solid, but right, J.J. Hoover in the 8th. Like, don't trust those guys.
Jumbo Diaz. That's a random Reds player, I remember.
Jumbo Diaz before my time.
No. I think he's pitching in the Mexican leagues now. I think he's still pitching, which is awesome to see. Yeah. Either way, Dylan Betances was very fun to watch at his peak. He was incredible. And I think he needs to not – his retirement's good for him. His career called it good. He's content where it's at, and I think good for him. He will be remembered by, I think, a lot of fans too, and remembered well, and so that makes me happy.
I'm glad he got to say he's done as opposed to being forced to be done because of injuries.
100%. I am disappointed he never got to that 10 years of service time for just to have that LaTroy Hawkins courtesy Hall of Fame ballot appearance.
Yeah.
And
LaTroy Hawkins is that dog though.
He's
that guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Give me a second.
Anyway. All right. Bye. But yeah, I think Dylan Betances certainly deserves praise and recognition for what he did do in baseball. So,
yeah. You forget it because it was I think 7-8 years ago since the last full season.
Yeah.
I mean, his last full season was in 2019.
Which seems like forever ago.
It really does. But his breakout was 2013, 2014. So that when he really kind of broke out into the scene, it's been 7.
Yeah, I mean
8, 9 years.
God, what a I know, it's hard to see. It feels like Dylan Betances every single reliever is one injury away from being done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just
every
kind of the reality of the
one.
situation, which sucks.
Because
the relievers don't love it.
I don't think there's an injury that would kill a position player's career. And nowadays, most starting pitchers get a chance in the bullpen after an injury like that.
I mean, if you're a position player that relies solely on speed, something like an ACL definitely is taking you out.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Hamilton tears his ACL, he's done. But
correct.
That kind of guy is kind of dying out.
Yeah.
Shout out to dog Terrence Gore, though.
Back-to-back World Series champion Terrence Gore.
Who's signing him? Who's signing him this year?
The Mets.
Is he a Dodger?
He's a Met.
Wasn't he a Dodger for a little bit?
He was on the team in 2020.
Okay, that's right.
So he's currently in the Mets system waiting to be called up.
In the postseason.
We're worried about the wrong two players here. DeGrom and Scherzer. No, Terrence Gore will lead the Mets to glory this year. Count it.
The thing is, that's not an outlandish thing to say. It happened before.
Oh, ninth inning guy on first, down by one or tied. Boom, guy's on second now. Thanks, Terrence Gore.
Boom, might be on third.
Who knows?
You just steal home, bang. Anyway, moving on to question 6 here, inning number 6. So the Texas Rangers, fired President of Baseball Operations John Daniels after 5 straight postseason misses, postseason list appearances, and manager Chris Woodward after 2 just kind of not fantastic seasons. And this is right after their big offseason with Corey Seager and Marcus Semien just still starting, and they're under contract for a good bit of time still down in Arlington. So when the Rangers do bring in, probably someone out of Tampa Bay or Los Angeles, what do they need to do to turn this Texas team around?
They're playing they're managing the team like it's 1995 still. Corey Seager, he's a big name. Let's sign him. Marcus Semien, he hit 47 home runs. Let's sign him. There's no sure, the top guys are top guys, but they're not what's come out of Rangers player development lately?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking
Joey
up right
Gallo?
now.
I think they were actively screwing up Jack Leiter.
Probably
Yeah.
the worst place for Kumar to go from a player
Yeah.
development
I
standpoint.
mean, it's like, hey, Kumar Rocker is a big name. Let's draft him. It's like
No, straight up. That's exactly what happened.
they're what's that? I don't know. He's very. It's like it's the failures of like 19th 20th century baseball encapsulated in one 2022 franchise. They sign names, not value.
Well, they didn't really get the best returns either. Like the Yu Darvish trade basically became nothing for them. Joey Gallo trade should have happened a year earlier. Could have gotten more prospect capital out of it. I mean, like they always have these great pieces that they don't sell, and when they do sell, they get very, very poor returns from it. Get a whole new scouting staff.
Like get good like
They could.
like these great teams, like even like your Dodgers, like sure, Mookie Betts is great, Clayton Kershaw is great, but what's that team without the random Max Muncy discovery a few years ago? What's the team without finding Justin Turner? Like
Chris Taylor.
Good organizations find guys. The Rangers just
Yeah.
sign them and then make them worse.
That's what
Yeah.
made that Giants team last year so great is Lamont Wade,
Darren
Yastrzemski.
Ruff.
They found
I miss
dudes.
Darren Ruff.
I wrote an
I
article
miss
about him
Darren
once.
Ruff every day.
Tampa Bay
Darren Ruff.
literally just finds dudes. They
Yeah.
can make us probably AA players if they wanted to. They're that good.
Probably. Like that's the thing. Like the thing is like I mean it's like a meme that goes around whenever the trade season, whenever Tampa makes a trade. It's for a no-name prospect that no one's ever heard of. It's like, okay, so why does Tampa Bay want him? Like, why is that the guy Tampa Bay wanted? I'm sure they could have gotten a better prospect, but why did they want him? And then 3 years down the road, he's like some shutdown, like seventh inning guy.
Randy
Or he's like
Rosarena
an
was a
incredible bench
throw-in and nearly single-handedly won him a World Series.
Some guy named Randy just happened. Like,
Okay, don't use the corporate
Some MF.
no, we still have our F-bomb this week. Some motherfucker named Randy.
there you go. Yeah, it's just. But the thing, that's the point. The point exactly, though. It's like, it's how that works. Like, you need these guys, and like, you know, they might get a new scouting department. They might get new player development with like, they could just tear it down, like their whole front off. Like, I mean, I guess it's front off.
Like
That's not
tear
really,
it
that's
down, trade
departments.
the team, trade everybody.
No, they're kinda-
trade Semien Seager.
I think
Yeah, they're kind of stuck going for
I
it.
think they could be moved. Could.
You can't move Simeon.
You can't move Simeon. I think you could move Seager.
You can move Seager, but not Semien.
You could I think you could move Simeon on like a 30-35% retainer maybe.
And a great prospect.
And a great prospect. You'd have to like yeah, Simeon's worth more on the team than off of it.
Yeah, correct. But the thing is, like, I wouldn't be. I'd like to see them bring in like new player development with the new, president of baseball operations, because that seemed like the exact kind of thing you could do to help improve the team moving forward. But I find it hard to believe that's something they'll do, because that makes a lot of sense, and Texas doesn't often make enough sense.
Well, like
you know what
those,
I mean?
I mean, like think about like that those great like Texas teams of like the early 2010s. Like they were
Yeah.
like they were good for a reason.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
you throw away that they just kind of threw away the philosophy that built those teams. And you expect it to work?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do end up doing. I think they do have potential though, because Texas is a very easy place to get players to sign.
I don't understand why, but
Taxes.
is. Oh, right, taxes. Same reason
That's
why.
the entire reason.
Yeah.
That's 90%. Do you think people want to live in Texas? Probably not.
No, they're
Like-
Dallas, Arlington area. The frozen margarita machine was invented in Dallas. That's
you
why I
go.
would go there.
That
Uh,
makes sense. You
I
sold me.
would go to Dallas. let's see. To see a Rangers game. That's about it.
I mean, they play in Arlington, so
You fly into Dallas though, so you have to be in Dallas.
That's true. But the point being, I think there is potential, but they have to do it right.
Yeah,
and that's
we'll
easier said than done.
Correct, but I think it can be done, and I hope they do it right. Because when Texas is good, I think it's fun. Because like those early 2010s Rangers teams were fun. They were fun to watch, and so I'd like to see it happen again.
Corey Seager deserves one more playoff baseball game, man.
Corey Seager, I liked Corey Seager as a Dodger. I like him better now. He's not a Dodger, but like, I liked Corey Seager. Like he's a good player.
Wait, hold on.
It was a good signing, I thought.
Second best Seager.
Was it Corey's brother?
Corey. Kyle Corey's brother.
Still legendary Players Weekend jersey.
I've been trying to track one down to my size forever.
It's got to be expensive, like
probably.
eBay.
The Players Weekend. Bring back the Players Weekend, please.
Bring back fun jerseys and bats for it too. Like,
well, I think that horrible black and white killed the Players Weekend.
The one before it was fantastic.
Yeah. Especially because the Dodgers and Yankees had to wear those jerseys for 3 nationally televised games.
They were so bad.
Yeah.
The only thing that saved them was like some of the stuff looked a little cool when like it was all like black on black. Like really just the hats. It was it. Some of the hats were cool, but that's it.
Oh yeah, like a blacked out I'm trying to think of a good like blacked out hat, I feel like a black and white Giants hat or something would be clean.
I have a blacked out Major League Baseball hat. Like it's just the MLB logo on the front and it's black on black.
Isn't that just the umpires wear?
Yeah. But it's from like that Players Weekend. I got it for $7. So like if that gives you any indication of the success of those jersey sales, I got that hat for $7. Brand new.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I feel like
yeah. But speaking of Players Weekend stuff, because the Players Weekend stuff that was always kind of tied to the Little League World Series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was the whole kind of idea because, like let the kids play all this other stuff, and like the Little League Classic is, and then that continues to happen. It's happening tonight, like that's Sunday the 21st. It'll already have happened by the time this comes out. But speaking of the Little League World Series, this is our 7th and final question. This is the one that's not worth points. But
the transition.
Little League World Series. Favorite memories, favorite moments. Do you guys have any, like watching them, hearing about them, anything like that? Because I love the Little League World Series. It's a lot of fun. I love to watch it. But,
my name's Big Al, and I hit dingers.
That's a good one. Exactly.
That's it.
Little League World Series is more fun now that you can bet on it.
No,
no, that's wrong.
Like a solid 10 minutes of last week was just like degrading the idea that you could bet on Little League games.
It's not okay.
Not okay.
Oh, it's horrible. Baseball dads plus money. Williamsport is going to burn to the ground in the next 5 years.
Yeah, like if you haven't seen our TikTok, it did get me into a TikTok that Peyton does edit. He does a good job, but yeah, they shouldn't have betting for legal. I understand why they do because people are sick, but like, come on.
It's like, hey,
it's like,
can't believe that 11-year-old didn't cover the spread. What the hell, man?
Exactly. Exactly. Like that's the exact point.
To bet on grown men not covering the spread. But these little, I feel like it's wrong to bet on something that's unpaid.
Yeah.
Like I'd argue before NIL deals were a thing, it would be like almost morally wrong to bet on college games too.
I mean, they get an education. Sure, it gets taken away if they're injured, but they get an education, though.
Yeah, they get an education. So you can bet on them. It's fine. They're getting their education in something stupid. It's because they have to spend all their time on sports.
It's all communications and like
Swahili.
Exercise science.
That's also a very popular business.
Sports management.
Yeah. Anyway, but Yeah, Little League World Series moments. The Big Owl, that's a legendary clip. I want to talk about, because like this was last year, if you guys remember, Gavin Weir, the kid from I think he was South Dakota,
Oh, my
yeah, that kid is
God.
nasty.
was nasty. Just like he pitched what, like 4 no-hitters, something like that.
Yeah.
Like this kid was insane. I think we talked about him on Sunday Night Baseball last week. But like he was one of the most legendary pitchers that the League World Series is ever going to see. Like
Yeah.
I will stand pat.
Is he
with him.
like is he playing again this year? Or did he age out?
I'd imagine
you
he
would
would
have
have
heard it.
aged out.
You would have heard something by now about
Yeah.
Gavin
Yeah.
Weir coming back to Williamsport.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
if you're a kid, I feel like Williamsport really it's a one-time thing. It's fun once.
I only want to go one time, and that's it.
Yeah, I never made an all-star team. I would love to go to Williamsport multiple times.
That's also fair.
I haven't played baseball since I was 7 years old, so
I haven't played
can't
baseball
really-
since the age of 9, so also agreed. But I mean, with the Little League World Series, we also hear about some like you'll never hear the end of Todd Frazier, the Little League World Series and all that.
Cody
That'll always be
Bellinger.
brought
Cody
up.
Bellinger.
Yep.
Like honestly, I'm surprised that Cody Bellinger even played Little League. I thought he would since his dad was in the majors, you'd think he would play travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Have you gone back and watched those interviews? Those interviews are legendary now.
they're all really good.
God, and Todd Frazier's calling games.
I mean, yeah, those two. But I think another Monet Davis was also huge. With the League World Series, also really cool to watch. I think she now plays college softball or basketball.
Yeah, the Monet
Maybe both.
Davis.
Was that the
Yeah.
same year as Jackie Robinson West?
Yes,
Because that may have been the greatest Little League World Series of all time, if that's true.
think it may have been the year later.
Yeah.
Either way, but like it's something I think when you talk Little League World Series, I think at least now I think Gavin Weir needs to be talked about. Monet Davis needs to be talked about. I don't know who else really.
Big Al.
All these Big Al, of
Big Al.
course, yes.
Yeah.
Big Al.
Wonder what he's
You
up to
remember, anyone else
nowadays.
remember Blake Money and his brother Cash?
Oh, I was going to say, I don't remember Blake, but Cash Money.
Cash Money, also a fantastic meme.
Yeah, I feel like
And
the
you
Little
also
League World
have-
Series is just a great benchmark of how good child naming was 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean you're not wrong. Like it's
Like, you
funny
can-
because
You can gauge the stupidity of parents of a certain era.
yeah, but my favorite thing about especially Cash Money, because like the screen grab that I see all the time, it's his Blake Money and his siblings, and then it says the names of the bottom. It's like Blake, Michael, like another normal name, and then Cash.
I feel like Cash has got to be a nickname though.
Probably. I hope it's his real name though, because he really leaned into it and looks like a guy whose name is Cash Money.
Like long hair, sunglasses.
It's just
Backwards
funny. It's a lot of
hat.
stuff. Yeah.
I don't know, give it 15 to 20 years. Sterling Silva in the Little League World Series, calling it now.
15 to 20 years. You heard it here first, folks.
Sterling
Joke's just gonna
Silva.
have a kid by 30 in this economy.
In this economy, and he will be very good at Little League baseball, along with a team of also very good Little League baseball players. Good enough to make it to Williamsport.
Definitely not going to backfire.
Yeah, certainly. Anyway, but yeah,
Catch
that's
me
it
in
for seventh inning stretch.
Catch me in 20 years having married someone with another hyphenated last name. We're making a behemoth.
I feel like last names are not the move. They're so annoying.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah,
you got
I
screwed
understand.
over.
Yeah, they're long. It doesn't fit on Scantrons and stuff. Like,
It fit for me. It fit on it never fit on like an actual like a standard Scantron, but it always fit on like the ACT and SAT.
mine was always like, I think that it may have also fit. I don't remember, but like it was always like a couple characters short. But
Yeah, Scantrons are less in use nowadays, so
that's also true. But anyway, seventh inning stretch. Our winner this week is Joseph for not having internet issues.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment.
Like that's mostly the reason.
I agree.
But
That's a
it's a fair play.
fair play. I knew you were gonna pull that card from the second I had my first stutter.
Yeah. But anything else that happened baseball wise? You guys feel
Vaughn
should talk about
Grissom
it
is
all?
the best hitter on the face of the planet.
Grissom is that guy also?
Got that
Yeah.
dog in him.
Any relation to Marquise Grissom?
Maybe.
I don't
You
think
never
so.
know. I don't know. So we'll see. But I know Joseph got his Dustin May talking points out of the way as well. While
Michael
Sam had issues.
Michael Harris.
Oh, the Michael Harris
Extension.
extension.
Oh.
Yes. So Michael Hot Wheels Harris, which is the nickname that Carson and I gave him on a Sunday night watch party. I think it is an incredible nickname. I think it needs to be spread around more. But I think just Hot Wheels Harris is such a because he's fast too. So I think it's a good nickname.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like 35 calling him Hot Wheels Harris when he has like 30 grade speed.
yeah. Anyway, Michael Hot Wheels Harris extension from the Braves. What was it? It was something.
872. 872 with 2 club options after that.
Yeah, it's a Braves extension.
Yeah.
And the Braves are so good at signing these guys long term for nothing.
I mean, yeah, because if it doesn't backfire, like
Yeah,
even with like, I think similar to the Dodgers, I think Anthopoulos is like no Boris clients.
Yeah.
Get him out of here because that you can't lock a Boris client up.
Also true. But also, I will say this about Michael Harris. He's from Atlanta, grew up rooting for the Braves.
Same with Olsen.
Yeah, so like those guys are typically a little bit easier to lock up. But Michael Harris has also been very, very good this year, and there's no reason to believe he won't be for a while.
Yeah.
So I like the extension a lot. I know he's going to be happy to be in Atlanta too, which I think makes me feel a little bit better about it.
This team is going to be a juggernaut next 5-7 years minimum.
Because they can afford to sign 1 or 2 big name free agents to fill any holes they may have.
Yeah.
Dodgers, Braves, NLCS for the next 10 years. Yippee.
Honestly, it could very well happen. And I would only be mad about the Dodgers' participation.
I don't think the Dodgers are gonna have that kind of consistency.
We've had a top 10 farm system for like the past 5 years.
One World Series to show for it, Bucko.
And that team's getting old too.
But
yeah, but Bobby Miller's on his way, Diego Cartaya is on his way, Vargas is on his way, Pages is on his way. There are so many more names on their way.
I only knew 2 of those names. But
yeah, we will trade. Let's see. I'll trade. The Reds can trade you. Let's see, cash considerations for all of those guys.
Hey, he's really good.
Yeah.
Most recently, Seattle.
Cash considerations is the best player in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Most
no, one also
player.
Just kind of going back to like just the Little League World Series thing and the Players Weekend jersey. You guys remember the player to be named later jersey by it was an A. It wasn't Canna. It was on such. No, Klimp wasn't in Oakland yet.
Pinder.
It might have been Pinder.
And then we stopped talking
Josh
about it.
Fegley. It was Josh Fegley.
Of course, it's not a guy who's in the Pigs anymore.
Yeah, but either way, an elite nickname. So good. And imagine a Michael Harris jersey that says Hot Wheels. That'd be so cool. I think you should pick up the nickname.
I think not Justin for Shane Bieber was an all-time great.
That's also really, really good.
Dick Mountain is the best one. I will hear no arguments.
Did he get that on a jersey?
Yes, he did.
Oh, did he really?
Yes.
Oh,
there are Dick Mountain jerseys out there.
I'm so sad that
I do
that we never got some guy jerseys for Randy Arozarena.
I know that would have been so good. This is our official petition to bring back player weekend jersey. I want to see Michael Hot Wheels Harris. I want to see some guy Randy Arozarena. I want to see all of these jerseys in 2023. Major League Baseball, hit us up.
He who bangs for Joey Votto.
Yes, so good.
Or just still bangs. would also be acceptable.
Also, yeah, Stillbang's also good. There's a lot of younger guys with like really good nicknames too.
Can
That like
either of the
word
Will
around.
Smiths be the slap?
Probably
Stafford's friend for Clayton Kershaw.
elite. That'd be so good.
Please.
That'd be so good. Anyway, but yeah, I think that's it for us here this week.
Yeah.
Now that we've talked about things that are way off topic, but I still want the Players Weekend jerseys. Major League Baseball, bring it back for the love of God. Anyway, yeah. Anything else, anyone, before I outro this?
Go baseball.
Go baseball.
That's a good point. Go baseball indeed. So if you guys do not know where to find us, how'd you get here? But if you do want to continue finding us and know where to find us, I'll remind you anyway. Our website at diamond-digest.com, our Twitter at diamond_digest.com, and our Instagram at diamond.digest.com. Yes, we are very consistent in the way we are present online. So thank you for joining us this week. We'll probably be back next week. I think I am back next week hosting as well. You'll probably see these guys around as well at some point in the future. But as always, go baseball. We'll see you guys later.